What we saw, though, is that a fairly large portion of the sick deer were being killed by mountain lions. So rather than finding a deer, curled up and dead under a bush, they were being killed by mountain lions. And maybe at a somewhat earlier point in the course of disease than they would have died otherwise. What we did see, though, was that the deer that were infected with wasting disease were about 4 times more likely to be killed by lions than uninfected deer. And again, that goes back to what we were talking about way earlier on, the fact that these animals in later stages of the disease are probably more vulnerable to predation because they are not as wary. They do kind of stand out in a crowd. Something happens, and if they're in a herd, the group of deer will look toward the source of disturbance, and you'll have one animal that's sort of staring around, in a different direction or not really paying attention. And those are the kinds of things that predators cue on. With an ambush predator like a mountain lion, probably just the lack of wariness, or maybe these deer not moving around quite as much would set them up for that source of demise. But at the same time, right around that same time, a graduate student colleague, Caroline Crum, had a companion study going on. Caroline would go in and catch these mountain lions, mark them, follow them, and locate kills that they had made, collect samples to look for chronic wasting disease. And we compared the prevalence of wasting disease among the deer killed by lions with the prevalence of wasting disease killed by hunters in the same vicinity. So not in exactly the same spot, but out of, more or less the same geographic area. And Caroline's study showed in a complementary way that not only were the infected deer on Table Mesa were more vulnerable to lion predation, but in fact the lions in the study area, which overlapped with Table Mesa but included much of the northern Front Range, the lions actually were selecting for infected deer. So, that does emphasize the point that predators, at least with this particular disease, might be an asset, I guess, or at least not a detriment to trying to control the disease.